First, evaluate your needs in equipment and products. You'll need dry mops, a scraper, rectangular 3M scratch brushes, an electrical or rotational high-speed scraper, 24-ounce white mops for waxing, a large clean garbage barrel, a bucket, an auto scrubber with fully charged batteries, high-performance black 3M pads whose size is suitable for your machine, Diversey's Attack Stripper, Bye-Bye Foam Anti-Foaming Emulsion, Nutrisolve Neutralizer, Troubleshooter 3M Aerosol Stripper, a clean water source, a hose long enough to fill your machine, hair nets, a manual scraper, non-slipping boots, safety signboards, high mileage and signature wax, and a high output fan. Stripping. First, prepare the stripping plan with the director. Identify the schedule and zones so he can tell his employees to remove stock and items from targeted areas. 24 hours prior to the beginning of the work, check the general state of the machines and charge the batteries if necessary. Always start your planning by prioritizing the places that are more distant from the water source and finish with the area that is closest to the water source. That way, you'll avoid contact between the stripper and the fresh wax. Plan the labor according to the surface that needs to be stripped and waxed, and also the time allocated to the stripping and schedules of your client. Average statistics show that a person can strip and wax 300 square feet per hour. Before you begin the stripping, make sure you place hair nets under your shoes or water-resistant boots to avoid slipping. Fill the dirty water tank with Bye-Bye Foam Anti-Foaming Emulsion, and fill the clean water tanks with cold water. Dispatch the safety signboards around your work area. Start by mopping the floor and removing chewing gums and stickers glued to its surface. Then evaluate the state of the floor by checking the thickness of the wax. To avoid fast evaporation of the product, dilute the stripper with cold water in a large clean garbage barrel, while respecting the recommended dilution ratios according to the state of the floor. Then, strip the baseboards using the Troubleshooter 3M Aerosol Stripper and let the product penetrate. Make sure you strip the different baseboards, wood, vinyl, metal, or any other material that you have to strip as part of your stripping task. Spread the stripper in a large quantity using a bucket and make sure to cover the whole section you are working on. The average working section is 300 square feet at a time. Let the stripper penetrate between 15 and 30 minutes and never let the product dry. Remove the scraper before you begin the stripping in order to ease the operation and avoid space reduction. Slowly go over the floor with the auto scrubber without activating the vacuum cleaner and without using water. Then pass over again with the machine using maximum water debit to reactivate the stripper. If a pasty form appears, add more water. In order to do a good job and have a professional finish, you must use your hand brush to brush the borders, corners, spaces under tables, moldings, and hard-to-access places with the auto scrubber. Soak for 10 to 15 minutes. If some wax remains, the floor will be slippery. To correct this situation, spread some stripper again in the slippery areas. Reinstall a scraper on the auto scrubber and use the hand scrubber to gather your solution towards the center. Pick up the solution with the machine. The vacuum cleaner and brush is activated without water. After your work, your floor should have a matte finish and a sandy feel. If shiny spots appear, some wax remains may still be on the tiles. The preceding steps will have to be performed again on these areas only by using a scraper or rotative high-speed scraper. Pay attention to the reliefs. Brush them with a hand brush. Once this step is over, empty both dirty water and clean water tanks of the auto scrubber and rinse the pads with hot water. In order to neutralize the floor, fill the auto scrubber with clean hot water and Nutrisolve neutralizing solution. Then, wash the floor again with activated brush without using the scraper and the vacuum. Fill your bucket with Nutrisolve neutralizing solution while respecting the dilution ratios specified on the instruction manual. Soak the mop and use it to neutralize corners, borders, spaces under tables, and hard-to-access places with the auto scrubber. Go over the floor again with the machine without water, scraper down, and vacuum activated to make the water disappear. Then, let it dry completely. The drying time depends on ventilation, moisture level, room temperature, presence or absence of a refrigerator, a ventilation engine, or heat sources such as a compression engine. Ideally, the drying time can be 10 to 15 minutes. Waxing. First, take out your hair nets from your slip-resistant boots and rinse them with hot water to eliminate accumulations of the stripper that can cause a reaction if there is a contact with the new wax. Rinse the following elements with hot water: your bucket, the wheels of your auto scrubber, and your mop bucket and wringer, the scrubber pads and scrubber pad holders in order to get rid of any accumulation and residue. Make sure the floor is 100% dry. Make sure you also remove the trademark label without breaking the seam to avoid leaving traces on the floor finish. Then, soak the 24-ounce white waxing mop in the wax bucket. Drain the mop and use it to trace your perimeter for a maximum of 20 to 25 square feet. Spread the wax in thin layers inside your perimeter. Wait 5 to 10 minutes before activating the fans in order to avoid creating waves in the wax. Let it dry for a minimum of 30 minutes according to the moisture level and ventilation of the area. Decide if the work is dry enough by looking and touching the floor. If it is still sticky or moist, the wax is not dry. Once the first layer is dry, repeat the operation 3 to 4 times without polishing between layers. Once this procedure is accomplished, wait 24 hours before polishing. You now have all the necessary tools to work in an optimal fashion.